Hey plant friends, welcome to another edition of Petal Talk. And this Petal Talk today, Nique and I are going to give you some tips and some really fun ideas of how to plant Amaryllis and also some really cool little paperwhite bulbs. So Amaryllis and paperwhite, this is the time of year that you want to go ahead and get them planted. A lot of the bulbs are what they're called, like they're already cooled. To force them for indoors. So when you buy things, you know, at the shop here, at garden centers, they're already ready to go. So basically, it's once you get everything planted, it kind of starts activating everything, and then they'll, you know, start to grow. So it's actually really simple the way to do the Amaryllis and the paperwhite bulb. So the paperwhites is what I do, and I know it's going to sound silly, but this is the bottom, and this is the top of the bulb. Because a lot of people will always get it confused and they'll always ask. So just always know that, you know, here's your roots and then here's your tip here. So when you're planting the paperwhites, I have a pot here, a decorative pot. You can use just a regular terracotta pot if you want to, but I filled it here with the potting soil, and we're basically just going to nestle them down into the soil a little bit, and you're not gonna completely cover it. You want that bulb to kind of stick out.
I'll be your assistant.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just going to hand you.
Vanna White.
Thank you.
So we have, and you basically just go and you're going to stick them in your container here, and they don't mind actually being crowded. So you can go and you can actually cram and shove really as many of the paperwhite bulbs in there that you want to. So they're going to be sitting in the soil.
They do want to be snug.
Yeah, they do like to be snug. That way they kind of will hold
other.
themselves up, and it'll actually, so they don't tend to fall over.
Right.
So then we can add decorative moss. This is the sheet moss. You have Spanish moss, or if you want to do like a decorative gravel, you can do that too. One tip that I like to tell people with paperwhites is if you keep them cooler, then they're gonna stay a little bit shorter. If they're really, really hot, you know, if you keep your house warm, they're gonna shoot up really fast and they're gonna flower quicker. But typically you're about 6 to 8 weeks once you start getting your paperwhite bulbs planted, at 6 to 8 weeks for them to start to flower. So we got all this planted, we're gonna water it in, we're gonna put it in medium to high light, and you're just gonna kind of watch it grow and just keep it watered. If you keep them a little drier, they stay a little shorter too. If your paperwhites do get kind of tall and they start to fall over, you can use some really cool, cute ribbon, festive ribbon, tie that around, that way it'll kind of hold everything in place. Now I've also heard too, and we've done this before, where if you do 1 part vodka to 10 parts water, it actually stunts the growth a little bit, so your paperwhites don't get
that why I'm short?
So tall. It is. You must have drank a lot of vodka. And so to plant Amaryllis, it's basically the same thing. I have this pre-potted here. As you can see, the bulb is sticking out of the soil. You don't want to submerge that. And this is already, again, you know, this is the bloom. It's getting ready to flower. It'll flower a little bit earlier before some of the ones that are not potted. And then you can just, you know, stick your decorative moss or gravel or whatever holiday stuff that you have. And then water it in and just watch it grow.
And the other thing to remember too is just because it has done its first growth and you've gotten the flowers doesn't mean that it's not going to have another shoot. So just when it's finished, go ahead. I cut mine off, but you usually end up having another bloom by March.
Yeah, and
so throughout March.
This is the first bloom stalk. There's another one. It looks like there's probably a third one, you know, coming in there too. And you know, depending the size of the bulb, this is one of our jumbo bulbs and one of our little standard size. You know, you could get 4, 5, 6 blooms stalks out of this as opposed to the 2 or 3.
And then I love that you have all the cool colors. So this has more of a pink to it. We have the red. There is some awesome ones I know, but there's some really cool other colors. Like there's one that we have in the store right now that's all green, and
it's really cool.
And she's just real spidery green type, and so we're excited about her. And you know, love for you to, if you buy them, love for you to take pictures and show us the pictures sometime of how it ended up looking. So I just watched this video of this lady that I follow from England. So what she did, and I love the idea, is she just took all these kind of jars, and so they have a little bit of space at the bottom, And so I just went ahead and so I cut the roots off a little bit because they were getting kind of spidery and long and icky. And so I just cut them off. So you put about that much water at the bottom, and then you literally just sit it down like that, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And so what I love about it is kind of, you know, as she grows, this kind of acts as a balancing for the stalks. And now about once a week or so, you double check and make sure and keep adding water. So you just add about that much water every time, and it did amazing. It was so cool. I loved it. It was so easy. I didn't have to mess with potting soil. I didn't have to find rocks or stones or anything like that. I literally just, that's it. That's all I did to mine. I think the roots are cool. I think the bulbs are pretty. And then when it starts to bloom.
Now, if the water gets mucky, did you just change it out?
I did, because that is one of the side effects about it. So I kind of put it at a place where I don't necessarily see that part.
Okay.
So because the water did get a couple times kind of brownish, so I just dumped it out, got all fresh water in it, and started over. And I, you know, it was totally worth it because I just think this is such a cool look. And then when you're done with the bulb in March or so, you can either do what I do. I drop it off at my mom's house and let her keep it. Or you can sit it outside for the summer, let it grow. It will grow throughout the summer, get these cool, gorgeous leaves on it. Then take it in September 1st, stick it in the basement in a very cold, dark place. November 1st, bring it back out, and your bulb will be bigger. So
now that's for the Amaryllis, but the paper whites are kind of more like annuals. So when they're done, you just throw those away.
The other thing is you can do it with hyacinths, which would be really cute. So we didn't have any hyacinths in the store, but I think if you made a collection of these things, especially, you know, going into January where it gets dark and dreary and all the holiday stuff is over with, this is just a fun, beautiful thing to have going into the new year.
So with the paper whites too,
sure?
yeah, we have, I always had liked the gravel. So we have some decorative gravel on the bottom of this container here. And then you're, again, just a little bit of water, and then you take your paper whites and you kind of set them down in there.
Do the same thing.
And do the same thing, and then the roots, you know, grow through there with the decorative rocks. Now that would be something where you add water periodically, or when you know there's no water. But I think they're just kind of.
And then again,
it's just a fun way to.
We sure have lots of fun ways.
I know.
Right?
Lots of fun
We're so
ways.
fun.
We're so fun.
So fun.
Now, if
so
also
fun.
if you don't want your paper whites, say you want to maybe have them bloom in like January, get them home, put them in the refrigerator. That kind of stops them from, you know, starting to bloom. And then when you're ready to plant, once you start planting and initiate that water, it's about 6 to 8 weeks. So if you want to delay it, you can just throw them in the refrigerator. Same way with the Amaryllis too.
And we have them in the store, so come check us out.
Lots of varieties, lots of sizes.
Yep.
And I think they're just really neat.
And we love to talk to you. Everything there is to know, talk about Amaryllis and bulbs. Because
so come see us. We're here.
Love,
we have so many fun
shops.
ways, and we're just fun. We have lots of fun ways.
Well, we just love our shop.
Yes.
We love our little shop. So come to Petals. We love to see you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.